Welcome back to my series where I review all of my trades. Then when I mean all of them. All of my profits, all of my losses. This is a series where you get a heck of a lot of lessons. It's mainly to force me to review my trades so that I know what to improve on. Today we're going to talk about a very small loss on a NXTD. We'll get right into the trade. I use thinkorswim for the yearly chart since I do not print screen the yearly chart. So, if you haven't seen my MISC video, I recommend you seeing this because this is, I thought of NXTD to be a similar trade and play as MISC. Basically, MISC was a news play where they announced very bullish news that a CEO was going to come on Fox News Street. So this was somewhat of a similar trade. They announced a partnership on the 26th, and this is the day I played it, of course. It gapped up huge. It dropped most of its gains, pre-market gains, right at open or during the last half hour of pre-market. So what I ended up doing, I thought, okay, let's try out to play this as an ABCD setup. So what's not shown on the chart is that it had a huge spike and then it just faded down. So I thought, okay, this might be a ABCD setup, and I wanted to play off and try if the ABCD setup would work with having a spike pre-market. I think that's the main thinking process. Also, I learned from my mistake on MISC. I went back and checked the behavior of the stock and made sure that it was a former runner and that it had good volume. So when I checked those boxes off, I also saw that, okay, this stock never holds its gains. So I was anticipating somewhat of a maybe morning consolidation, then a spike, and then I was supposed to be done. But here's a good lesson on this trade. So how come that I cut it down here? And this is a very personal thing, but I cannot, this is something that I learned, but I cannot watch webinars as during the trading day. I just can't. I get too influenced by doing it. I can't make my own decisions. I focus on what the gurus or the teacher says. And this day wasn't anything different. NXTD was watching it, and then I was also watching Tim Bowen having a webinar, and he got the question of NXTD. What do you think about it? And he's like, yeah, sure, it's spiking, and but it lost all of its gains from pre-market, so it doesn't look good. And also he mentioned that that their products suck. It's like a case for your credit card, so it can't be stolen. So he basically said, okay, this is sure, I could play it, but I don't play stocks where I don't believe in the product, something like that. And don't quote me on it, but something like that. And then, of course, me, Oscar, as a newbie, got scared, and I'm like, hell no, I don't want to hold this. Because if Tim Bowen says it's shit, then it's probably shit. So I cut my trade right as he said it. And it turned out to be, because if I know myself right, I would have probably sold like half into this spike, and then I would have held, risking off this level, and then I'd probably be like break even. So somewhat he saved my ass, or saved me from a bad trade, but he also taught me a great lesson. Never never get influenced by anyone else. And I've said this before in previous videos, but I have to repeat myself so that I know how to behave and how I should overcome this problem, because that's really the main lesson and the biggest problem for me. I get not emotionally attached, but I get scared out when other people by other people's opinion, and I need to learn that you have to trust yourself. You have to trust your guts and your analysis. But he also taught me that I should definitely look into the company more, or not more, but it's a different trading style from what I have. I haven't really come up with my ideal trading style, but that's the main lesson. Make sure that you know how easy you get influenced by other people's thoughts, and adapt to that. Because if you're a person that easily get attached or get affected by other people's thoughts, then make sure to stay out of people's thoughts. And so that's the main lesson. Make sure that you know how affected you get by people's thoughts. So a small loss, but in the grand scheme of things, as Tim said, it doesn't matter if I make 100 or 200 or lose 100 and 200 bucks, as long as I learn. And this is exactly that. I've learned the emotional attachment and not getting affected. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something.